Hello everyone, welcome to another sci-fi special effects class. These special effects are similar to the ones that were in a simple and stunning special effects class, but I can't call this simple at all because this Nuke script has about 90 versions, if I recall right. Alright, actually the last version was 86. So we've gone through 86 versions of Nuke script before we completed the shot, because it was really hard to make this close-up of appearing sphere in the hand. Everything is very visible, so let's try breaking it down step by step, beginning with explanations of how we filmed all this. And to be honest, we filmed it about 3 times before we've got the right everything, you know, from makeup to diodes and sphere timing, all that stuff. So before we dive in, I'd like to thank all the Patreons who make these classes possible. I want to thank all my 4 patrons, or pronounced. Thank you, Jing Kim, Andy Lee, Yoshiro Sano, and thanks 32-bit EXRNC, my thirst visual effects soldier. Although I don't know what your name is, but I'm really in love with you. Thank you so much, guys. You're keeping this channel alive. Alright, let's go. So here we are in the sphere, Nuke script. This is how it looks like. I hope your machine is processing these heavy files that I publish on my Patreon. So here's our source, entirely on the green screen. So what we did is filmed all the states of the hand, including the separate lights of the diodes, to separate them to the channels and compose them with the right timing. So you see there's 2 diodes, one is inside of the hand, kind of put on under its makeup, and another light is just a light with a red filter that is illuminating the hand from the side, and the sphere is being put on into the hand and it is there while everything is turned off, and then we take it out while everything is turned off. So we have like every possible stage of the hand as a separate element, which I break down to layers further down in the script. But before that, we degrain the footage and work only with the denoised footage from this moment on. And to separate the lights, I take the frame holds from the exact moment when the diodes and light are being turned on, to subtract the footage from the lighten footage and get the separate pass of the light. So this way I'm getting the separate layer which contains this light, which I'm calling main diode, and putting into the mainstream. And the exact same thing is being done with the second light, but with a little stabilization, because it is lighting the whole hand and it was needed to a little bit stabilize it. And I'm putting it into the mainstream as well, into the layer extra diode. So I have 2 separate lights, you know, like in 3D, you can export passes and get different lights. I have different lights here baked into the Nuke layers now. So this is like the 3rd version of this hand source, and all versions were supervised by me, and this last one turned out the one that we needed. So next I have retime and time warps here, and I'm putting them into the start of the stream for a reason, because I recall that I needed everything to happen a lot faster, and as the hand doesn't move much, I should not process all the frames that I don't need. That's why I'm retiming it at the very beginning, and this is saving tremendous amount of time. And this is actually the hand of a dead man. The story is that he had a wish-granting device the Sheckleys wrote about in his book Something for Nothing, the kind of device that allows you to fulfill any wishes, but at the end it turned out that you have to pay for all the wishes you've fulfilled, and that's why you are going to the mines for as long as you have to, like for 1,000 years if you have to. But this man is dead, that's why we already can extract this artifact out of him, with a lot of computer graphics and Nuke script versions, of course. So here I have the clean plate for IBK. Yeah, I've filmed it on set. I filmed it on set on this same static camera I've set to film the clean plates. When you are supervising on set, it is very common that you will need clean plate on post-production. So if you are thinking if you should film a clean plate, you usually have to. Usually it will be useful on post-production. So I'm baking it into a pre-comp here, and I know they are heavy. This is the nature of a great work. It always become heavy. So here I have a couple of ST maps that are stabilizing and retracking my cleanup. I rendered them using Nuke's smart vectors, and I'll show you in the moment how you can do this. I did this because they are much lighter than smart vectors. They work much faster, and I wanted to remove everything heavy from my script to be able to work with it as it becomes heavy, you know? So let's see what I'm talking about. So let's get some footage here that we will track. Alright, so we have some kind of a sequence here. I just pulled out. Alright, let's take this one. That doesn't matter, I just want to show you the technique. So you take the smart vectors, and essentially you can export their motion vectors that are native Nuke's motion vectors, smart vectors I mean, to other applications that support the ST map, because nothing but Nuke supports its smart vectors. The smart vectors is only for Nuke. But if you take vector distort, so we have the smart vector pass inside here, look into it, we have the smart vectors here, and if we connect the vector distort to smart vectors like that, we can output it, alright, where is it, to a ST map. And if we will output it into a ST map, we can see that in RGBA pass we will have this ST map, which will actually contain the movement of the smart vectors. This means that you can render it to EXRs, for example, and then input it to other applications that support a ST map. Very handy, right? The way to export the smart vectors to other applications. That's a great tip for you guys. Alright, let's move on. So I've exported them to use them inside of the older Nuke just to be more stable, because script became very large and I wanted to remove all the heavy stuff out of it, and the ST map works a lot faster than the smart vectors. So you can see that I'm stabilizing the degrained footage here to paint out the diodes here and its wire, make this region more clean. If you scrub through the sequence here, you can see that the hand is stabilized. And of course, on set, I've tried to move this dead man's hand as less as possible, so that I can get a perfect tracking for cleanup here. And I'm just removing this with Rata Paint here, so as simple as this, just blurs and strokes, removing it. And tracking it with the same ST map. So yeah, that's how it goes. Tracking it again here. Some cleanup done here. This is just a quick cut of the shadow that is happening on this hand to not throw it on this hand here. So just a tracker, cutting it out, putting it on top. So that's the cleanup part. And I'm again pre-comping it to work faster. Yeah. And I guess I could put this ST map inside of this stream, so that I could render it inside this EXRs. This could work faster to read one EXR file instead of two. I think this was kind of a quick correction somewhere down the script. Here we have a Despil, which I've shown you in detail in the Desert Compositing class. If in 2 words, it is the desaturation of the green color that Keylight sees as green. Yeah, so what is here? Alright, here I have a clean plate of a sphere on the frame where it is more visible. I'm just painting it in the places where the hand is obscuring it to get the whole sphere here. From here I will take it later on. Alright. And here comes the complicated part that is understandable only when you've done 80 versions of this script. I have a switch here and I have a frame hold here put in before everything. And I use this freezed footage only where the hand is to freeze it when I need it to be freezed like that, so that I can comp the sphere inside of it. Only for a period of time when I need it. There's still no sphere here, it is just a hand, and this frame hold is tracked so that there will be nothing happening with the hand until I need the sphere to be there, and I will put it there manually, not using the actual acting of the actors, you know. I will just comp it there manually, because the hand's timing isn't the exact timing I need, even though I've retimed it here, because I need the sphere to appear in the hand in the exact moment with all the lights, and that's how I've done it. So here comes the IBK gizmo that has the background that we filmed on set, and it uses this clean plate that I was talking about. Very simple. So out of it I do the core and just merging it. Then I got another switch for the extra dot. Yeah, looks like I've turned it off completely here because I can and because I want it. You see, I'm subtracting it in the exact moment when it appears. So this path that I've created there is being used here to cut it out entirely. This is also done to switch it on in the different moment, because all this was like filmed as elements and we need to have a full control, and that's why I'm subtracting it here and removing it here to use it somewhere later on when I will need it in the different moment of time. So just a little cleanup here. Moving on, putting the background, clean up old tattoo. And the tattoo was no good, so it was needed to clean up it and create the new one. So that's what I did here, stabilized it with corner pins. So I'm just using the tracker that I've tracked, like from here after the retime, and clean upping all the stuff that I don't need here, just merging it on top and pre-comping it again. Let's see, the pre-comp will work faster. Yeah, so that's how our hand looks now. It is opening, it's played back. Yeah, so see, I'm playing back the pre-comp here and I have a freezed hand here till I need it to be freezed in the center so that nothing happens with it while I will comp the sphere on top of it. Yeah, so that's how it works. And the diodes are turning on. The main diode is turning on yet. We will find the extra diode as we will go down the stream. So let's go down the stream. This is how hard it is to rotoscope a finger when you have a close-up of the finger. Yeah, that's not the kind of fingers you draw one shape on. This is barely enough to capture all the details of it, and to be honest, this is not enough, because if I'd do this now, I'd like to separate the parts that are not semi-transparent to make this rotos of this part semi-transparent. This could work a little bit better. Yeah, you see they now have full opacity, but it could work better if I'd lower this opacity a little. And if I want to lower this opacity, for example, I'd like to draw another roto here. It worked already and I shouldn't touch anything. So underskin. This is all about this nanobots, as director calls them, that are moving under the hand. And before we dive into their keying, I will show you the sources of them, how we filmed them. So this is this same steel wire wool I was talking about in the simple and stunning special effects, and this is like the universal textures of it that I have. So they are very heavy, and let's see how heavy they are. I think that the current way of transferring the files with torrent that I use won't be enough to process all these precombs I have, and this means that I will precomp this backdrop for you. Yeah, this is like universal textures that we use to do the burning effects in our movie. So the steel wool is being placed on the metal table, filmed from the top with the camera facing down while we burn the wool. That's how it is done. So first of all, I key the hand to, get its contrast with which I can obscure all this stuff I'm compositing inside of the hand. Some harsh rotos here, don't really like them. Don't know why they are harsh here, but this is the way they work. I shouldn't change anything. Yeah, so I'm getting this map to obscure the elements with it, and I'm using it almost everywhere, including for the passes of these veins that I'm putting under the hand to obscure this burning effects even more. And I'm just like positioning it with transforms and tracking them with corner pins, defocusing them and putting them together with this map to get this kind of an obscuring map so that I can show that these nanobots, as the director calls them, are moving under the hand. So this is how it is done. So the nanobots are a little bit changed here with filters. They are retimed to be with the right timing, and they are positioned with corner pins here to match the perspective of the hand, right? And then they are defocused and put under the hand, heavily defocused, because this is the way they look under the hand. If you want to do this, this will not work. Then I'm putting them all here into the mainstream. So let's maybe see like the final pass with it. Yeah, you see how it looks like right inside of the hand, looks amazing. It already looks like under the hand. This is all because I've done this great work with obscuring it with stuff. I used different maps of these veins here to multiply these burning effects with them. This is why it looks so perfect. I love it. I really love the work that I do. And to be honest, I love it more when it is done. I love to look at it. This is kind of a thing that drives me forward in making perfect computer graphics. Alright, enough about that. What kind of a mask I'm using here? The alpha? Yeah, the alpha of the hand, just to cut it with the actual hand to only show it on the hand, not on the background, right? And that's how they are plussed here. This is the way they are looking like they are under the hand. Perfect work, Kirill. I love what you do. Here we have a tattoo that we've remade. We've burned it the same way we do with everything made out of steel wire wool to achieve this burning effect on tattoo as well. So I have a time echo tattoo here, freeze framed. So if we look into this, we will see the complete shape of it. Yeah, that's how it looks like. So we've just made the form of it and filmed it from the exact angle from which we see this hand here, so that it will be easily mapped here with corner pins and grid warps. And that's exactly how it was done. So I'm again getting some contrast out of the hand, cutting this burning effects with this contrast, grading it. Yeah, but this time this contrast also shows me where the tattoo is, and I've kind of tried to key out this tattoo, this original tattoo out of here. So much perfectionism, the Nuke just crashed. Big node graph. So here I have the roto, which helps me to map this new tattoo onto the hand. It is just added to the equation with the mask of the tattoo I've already shown to you. So it is just a mask noised. Know how to noise mask easily. Just take the multiply node, the invert inversion node like that and create the roughen edges effect. I'll show you right now. So you have some kind of blurred mask like that, and you want to make the roughen edges, but Nuke doesn't have the roughen edges because it is not After Effects. So you take the inversion node, and actually in After Effects you can do this the same way, and this will work faster than the roughen edges effect. You take the noise, you switch the arrows here and multiply it by the inverted mask of this blur throttle. So if we will change the noise size, you'll see that you'll get a perfectly mapped to the semi-transparency roughen edges. And you can contrast this mask whatever you want with it, but I prefer just to control it with blur like that. You can just make this noise contrasty, for example, like that. Yeah, that's how it is done. All right, cool. Then I'm adding some glow here, effects only. So this pass is being used as glow here, and this is merged with itself and is added here with the plus mode. That's how it is done, and I'm also grading the footage. With the mask I'm creating by keying out the original tattoo and merging it with the new tattoo. I'll try to show you the pre-comp instead, which is of course here, because it is like really hard to play it back there. Let's play back the pre-comp and see. Yeah, we have not so much time left, so I will try to explain everything more briefly. Otherwise you will fall asleep. Don't say me that, you will fall asleep. I know you, I see it in the YouTube analytics. Let's play back. So here I'm playing back the pre-comp, and you see how this all works. So as the underskin nanobots are reaching the tattoo is being like burnt out and the sphere is being extracted. The tattoo is like a sign that this guy has the wish granting device inside of him. By the way, if you have some connections with guys who are interested in great quality NFTs, you could be my lifesaver. I've got them minted on the OpenSea, and you can buy my sphere and stuff. All right, I guess nobody sees my password like that. Here they are. Yeah, so I have the spheres minted because I have rights for them as I'm the producer of this movie. And I've like made some bundles with the same shots. If somebody is interested and has a lot of Ethereum, I've set it according to the soulfulness of the shot, like according to how much soul I've put into it. So this is the shot where I've used like 20% of my soul. That's why it costs 0.2 Ethereum. And this is just this sphere that was extracted and is lying on the table now. And by the way, this is my hand lying on the morgue table. I've played the dead man. I didn't talk about it because, you know, there's too much to say about me. I don't remember everything. So yeah, a lot of sphere shots here and some other sci-fi shots. Maybe, you know, some sci-fi geeks that like to, you know, add them to their collection. Or maybe some Reddit communities with them. Please share it with them. And this will definitely help me to break down all of them for you. And if you will, write me a message. I wanna thank you for sharing this. The link is the first one in the description. Alright, for those who didn't fall asleep yet, I will continue my presentation. So we played back the pre-comp, let's go further. The main diet adds what I was talking about. You remember, we will find it as we go down the stream, and we found it. So the main diet and extra diet are added here separately. So first I'm adding the main diet. I'm taking the source footage, taking its path here, tracking it, because I have the Steam app here. I have the Steam app in my main stream as well, as I've added it here with shuffle copy node and rendered it out with my render farm with all the channels here. So it perfectly tracks the fingers, and I'm not forgetting the switch that is switching between the static frame and motion picture in this place. That's why it is cloned here and implemented, so the tracking behaves the way I want to. And here I'm kind of comping it, grading it, regrading, giving it a new color again here with grade nodes, and plussing it on top when I needed to light the hand. So that's how the hand is lighting up here. These grades have an animation and flickering. So flickering has, let's see what it has here, a flickering gamma random expression. So it uses the frame. By biasing and multiplying it, it creates a random animation. So I'm not the one who wrote this expression. I remember me taking it from Cameron Carson guy who did this awesome page of Nuke wave expressions. I'll leave the link in the description below for you. Alright, so here I'm plusing it on top and it is flickering just the way I want, and we can look into the curve editors as well. This is the random expression that is flickering it, and separate grades are controlling the intensity of this whole thing here. So it lightens it up when the sphere appears and dims it down when the sphere completed materializing in his hand. So yeah, that's how we are working with the main diet, and approximately the same way is the extra diet, but here it is a little bit more work as we need to kinda correlate with the underskin nanobots that are moving under it. So this looks like the main pass of extra diet, and let's see, where's the flickering. Yeah, here it is. Here's the flickering. So the same story, and graded the same way, regraded here as we go. So let's see what these delayed maps are doing here. Very interesting, I already don't remember. It looks like a synthetic edge detect. You actually can do the same thing with edge detect. Interesting why I've done it this way. Ah, alright, I wanted to blur it in the edges and cut it a little bit. Well, that's the way I've done it. Alright, and here's again the grading, the same way. And it is lighting the hand of the agent that is holding the hand of the dead guy. My hand, actually. And I'm plussing it here on top like that. Great. Alright, here comes really complicated parts. And to be honest, I don't exactly know how I will put it all on Patreon, but I will put all my project files on Patreon as always. So here are all the nanobots that we are seeing in the shot beside the underskin nanobots that we've already comped there. So let's start from left here. Let's see what it is. That's the sphere pass without any special effects. It is just graded edge detect of a sphere. So I took the edge detects to kind of take out all the contrasty edges of it, and I'm using it as a, part of the hologram that you see before the object materializes. So the idea was to show the actual hologram of the object that will materialize, and then it will materialize. One other part of it is the ghost, and the ghost is done in Houdini by amazing artist Alex Vagintsov, who was our effects artist, and basically with him we've done all the crazy stuff in this movie. So this is just a plain static image of particles that have depth of field, and it is merged there and flickers with it when it is needed. So here we have some special effects footages that we filmed with the director. It is the same steel wire wool put on inside of a metal plate, and the metal plate gives beautiful reflexes that are very helpful in compositing of this exact shot. Yeah, so this is the same thing, other shot with a different type of wool. Yeah, and all this special effects elements, if they won't be too heavy, I will put in the project files on my Patreon. So this is another reason to subscribe to it. So basically I'm not making any serious changes to it, I'm just distorting it and blurring it here. So yeah, this looks absolutely the same, just a little bit more distortion and with animated noise here. So noise animated with expression, frame multiply 75 just to quickly change, and distorting this thing when I need it. And here comes really complicated part, the sphere reveal. Yeah, we have the path of the sphere here, and the revealing of it correlates with this footages that we have here that are controlled with retimes to appear and dim down in the time when it is needed. That's why the time echo and retimes are here. They are retiming them so they naturally will light up and dim down, not by grade nodes. Grade nodes are disabled. This is why the sphere appears very naturally, as it uses the masks of this special effects footages that are retimed the right way, and I'm cutting it with them in a kind of complicated way with additional animation of the grade nodes, flickering, same thing, and plussing it on top. And here's the sphere. Sphere comes with the over mode, right? And everything else comes with plus and screen modes. So that's how the sphere is being plussed here. And yeah, some crazy stuff here because it was already the end of the script, you know, when you try to finish your work already, because you are getting burned out with all the script versions you've already passed. Okay, let's move on to the right. Sphere nanobots. This is the nanobots that we see on the actual sphere, and the way we filmed them was the same way we did with the police badge in the simple effects breakdown. We took a lot bigger sphere, like 100 times bigger, so that these nanobots will become very, very small, and this way they will become as detailed as the camera can capture them, you know. This is already a blurred pixel on the Blackmagic camera. All this special effects footages we filmed on the old Blackmagic camera. Yeah. See how big it is? It is like, well, like a big balloon, you know? It is like 5 times bigger than a soccer ball. Yeah. So, and these footages are also retimed here to be put on a sphere, and they are comped on top of it when the sphere reveals on top of the sphere. So this is why they are comped later here with plus modes. So yeah, I'm kinda getting a little bit more fast here. If you will have any questions about it, you can write comments below. I will answer all of them. Alright, there's no pre-comp here, and that's why it is kind of really hard to render it, but I will try to render one frame. Cool. This frame is more interesting than I've expected. The one that I've managed to render now is the frame when the sphere is already kind of appeared and it is hot and cooling down. So this is the moment when it is mostly hot, you know, sparking, and then it cools down and becomes normal. You see how cooling down looks, and this is a very simple effect you can do. This is just a Gaussian filter of the road node. So you take the road node filter and you can select it here. So if you like take some kind of footage with it, like this one, for example, and try to erode it inside its RGB channels, I mean, you'll get this effect. See? Looks pretty natural, you know? Sometimes it is very helpful and very quickly to be done with the Gaussian filter of the road node. Another tip for you. Moving on. So after nanobots, it's just another pass of nanobots from here, the same ones that are added on top again. So just to make more of them. And there is also the parts where they are falling onto the black paper that we've modeled the way the hand looks like, so that it has the matching reflexes and matching surface to collide these sparks that are falling on it. And that's why you can see the sparks falling on the actual surface of the hand, but here I've decided to blur it as hell because it was not detailed enough. Yeah. Plussing again, using the foreground hand shape. You see, I always use the channels in Nuke when I can, because it is really handy. You can bake them into pre-comps, rendering all the channels, and then they will all be inside of it. And I can use like this roto of the hand I've shown you, but one of the mistakes I did back then is putting alpha into all the channels, you know? When you can use only one channel, it is better to put it only into the alpha channel, not using all the other channels. So this is like not optimized way to store this roto, because roto has only the alpha channel and you don't need it in all the RGB channels. Yeah, if I would do this now, I would do this way. I will do it again here. So I've got the shuffle node. Let's see the RGB layer, and I want to map this roto here. All right, where is it? It is already in foreground hand shape. All right, I want to map this roto here from this stream to this stream. Actually, the copy node will work better here, even faster. So like that. And we don't need other channels here. We only need the alpha, right? Now we have only the alpha inside of this layer. And we can copy this layer into this stream, and now we will have only the alpha inside of this layer inside of this stream, and it will work faster because Nuke will have to contain less information as you will go and comp everything here. This is the stuff I've done wrong back then. This right optimized way. So copy node or shuffle copy node doesn't matter. I mean, just be sure that you are not using channels that you don't need. And as you work, if you will like find yourself carrying some channels that you don't need already, you can always use the remove node to remove the ones that you don't need. Connect and remove the ones that you don't need already. So yeah, you can always put this remove node at the end of the script, by the way, like right here. So you take the remove node, remove all the channels, or you say keep and say RGB. And now it will process the heavy script faster here when you will be rendering it. Because I've blurred the falling sparks here, I'm adding them separately here with separate footages that we've done especially for this, with the modeled surface according to how the surface in the source looks like. So you see there's a real hand there in the glove, and another hand with also black glove is holding this hand, and the sparks are falling on it, and there's some reflections on it, and I'm just putting them together here with tracker so that they will be tracked to the movement of the hand, and they are just plused here on top of everything like that. They are visible here inside of this in and out point. Yeah, so that's how it goes. Alright, this was 37 minutes. I guess I will make it shorter, as short as I can, so you won't fall asleep. Thank you very much for not falling asleep. My name is Kirill Pleshakov. Go see my NFTs I was talking about. Maybe you know some Ethereum sci-fi geeks that will like to add them to their collection. This way they will add like a tremendous amount of fuel to this channel, and it will become even cooler. Because I love what I do, guys, and I encourage you to love your job too. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Kirill Pleshakov. I'll see you in the next class. Yeah, and this is the restored grain from the very start of the script when I'm minusing the grained footage from the source footage and getting the grain. It is going here and is being plushed at the very end. Goodbye. Have a nice day.